fur, not a second-hand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
Hey, welcome to Real Men. I'm your host, Tim Steeves. We have a hot one planned for you today, so let's meet the panelists, shall we? Tim Rykert's here. How are you, Timmy?
Heidi-ho.
Little Timmy Rykert from up the street. Good to see you, buddy. Anne-Marie Scheffler is also with us today.
Hi, Tim.
Nice to see you, Chef. Also, Ryan Belleville popped in.
Jawohl.
Hey, Ryan, what's up?
What's
and
up?
Kedar is here.
Holding it down,
Kedar is going to hold it down for us. Right off the top of this segment, that's who I'm going to throw it over to for a little commentary. Go ahead, man.
I have a dream today that one day a black man would get in his car, in his BMW, and drive down the highways and byways of this great country of ours and not be pulled over because of the color of his skin, but because he has not paid his insurance. I have a dream today that one day we will turn on our televisions and never see the face of Pauly Shore ever again. I have a dream today, brothers and sisters, that one day in this great country of ours will stop sucking from the paps of America, come from under the skirts of the United States and stand on their own 2 feet and declare loud that we love Canadian television. I have a dream today, brothers and sisters, that black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles will join hands and start to sing that old Negro spiritual, "We all live in a yellow submarine." I have a dream today, Tim, a dream, I tell you. And don't stop dreaming. Don't stop your dreaming.
Yep. Nice job, Kay. That's sweet, Kedar. Kedar's got a dream, baby. Yeah. This segment, we're talking about dreamers. If little Johnny only applied himself in school, he would get his potential. Anne-Marie, are you a dreamer?
I am a dreamer, and I like dreamers. I think it's really exciting if a guy has a dream, and I just want to attach myself to his sails. What do you attach to a dream? You know, you attach something.
Just hook on,
Hook
baby.
on, just
hook on to the dream.
Here I go.
I feel like subject A in this matter, like we all do, right? We all grew up dreamers, and we all had our dreams crushed by people at various times trying to crush. Dreamers are misunderstood. You know why? Because we don't need to know the answer. We don't need to know what's next. We don't need to, and all other people need those answers. We live in a very structured society, very goal-oriented. And if you don't have a goal, if you're just, we appear flaky to them, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, dreamers are the people, I think, who change the world, because they're the people who have the vision, and even though people say, no, it's impossible, you can't do it, it's impossible, and it's like, no, I'm going to fly around the world in a balloon. And then they end up doing it. I don't know how it changes the world for good to fly around the world in a balloon.
But you know, the telephone, for instance, you know, like a nice Canadian man, you know, Alexander Graham Bell, you know, it's all these ideas. They have to come from somewhere, and if we don't dream big, we're not going to move forward.
But you bet a lot of his friends were going, yeah, Alexander,
But Ryan, didn't everybody on this show get that at some point in their life where you say you're going to not take the road traveled and next thing you know, oh, you're dreaming. Wait, you're going to do what? You're dreaming.
Yeah. I think, well, everybody who wanted to be a performer has many times had people come to go, oh, you want to do that. Ooh,
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's a tough life. Good luck. Yeah.
But I find there's a difference between a dreamer who does something and a dreamer who's just a dreamer. You know, like a dreamer and a doer would be good in the end, you know? Like,
you sound like my wife.
What do you think?
It's fine to be a dreamer, but when
the same person sometimes?
No, they're not. I think true dreamers, true visionaries that dream, you have to attach an action to that. And you get up and you go out and you make it happen, no matter what the naysayers do. Even in television, the very fact that we have cameras pointing at it, a dreamer sat down and said, one day, you know, I'm going to have an image and it's going to reflect and we'll be able to see it live or, you know, put it on tape. These are all the things that I think the entire world is built up on dreamers. If you don't dream, you can't create it. Things can't happen.
The world owes a debt to dreamers.
To dreamers, yeah.
There's a great Neil Young line in a Neil Young song. I'm a dreaming man. I don't have to understand. I know it's all right. And that's what it is in essence. People say to you, you know, you can't do that. Don't you know millions of people have tried that and they can't, you know, they haven't been able to do it. So what makes you think, I will, I can.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, also, an imagination is a great thing, but it can also be a really destructive thing, because you were saying you have to be a doer if you're going to be like a dreamer to make something happen. But like so many people come up and they have these great ideas and they don't do anything and they just sit on their couch. Like you were saying that.
Yeah, and the other bad side of a dreamer is, you know, they dream big, but then they crash big too. You know,
right?
You've been with a dreamer who's maybe you know, so excited about things, but then gets into a depression sometimes, and you're just like, oh man, I love this guy, but he's crazy.
There's a big difference between dreamer and habitual pot smoker. There's
you know, let's make a differential there, Timmy.
Yeah, well, I know, like, I feel like I live my whole life based on my dreams all the time. I follow my dreams, and I know it's not the marijuana because I was doing it when I was young, too.
So maybe it's not so much dream, though. It's also partially, you could substitute the word ambition for the exact same thing, because I think everybody has dreams, but it's people with ambition that are considered real dreamers, because they're the ones that whether they're doing it or not, you see them and you go, I could see you getting that done. Like, you have the willpower, you have the ambition to make it happen. And I don't know if that's positive necessarily.
Well, the will to make it happen, to get up and take that dream, just like Martin Luther King, who I alluded to earlier, taking that dream, that vision, and bringing it forward. Although most dreamers never fully see their dreams realized. Sometimes they don't live long enough.
Let's get out of here, panel. Hey, that was fun. That was a nice segment, but I'm excited about what's coming up next. We're going to talk to Valerie Gibson. She's an author and sex columnist from the Toronto Sun. We're going to talk older women, younger men. And we also talk to people on the street about dreamers, too. We'll be right back.
What makes a real man? Well, I'd say probably a commitment, being true to oneself. That's about the #1 thing you can do nowadays.
Nice.
Being true to yourself. That's #1. True to yourself. Believe in what you believe in.
Settle down, class. We have a guest. So let's just behave ourselves. Hey, welcome back to Real Men. This segment, we're going to have some fun. We're talking to Valerie Gibson. She wrote this book, Cougar, a guide for older women dating younger men. That's always a good topic. She's a sex columnist for the Toronto Sun and an author. And thanks for coming in, Valerie.
My pleasure entirely.
So why not,
all these guys, I love it.
You're in there. You're nestled right in.
Yes, I'm
older
enjoying
woman,
already.
younger men. Why not, huh?
Is it good for you too? Yeah, younger men, well, they love older women, I tell you, because you were talking earlier about dreams. That's a lot of young men, they dream. The Mrs. Robinson thing, you know, oh, meeting this older woman who really seduces me and makes me have this incredible time.
I mean, look at that little...
cooks well, too.
Look at that little Ryan Belleville. Isn't that little Ryan Belleville just a little cougar snack waiting to happen?
I'm a pretty young boy.
Yes, you are.
A pretty young boy walking on a savanna waiting for a cougar to pounce.
Yes, you're willing prey, as we call it.
Would you like that, Ryan?
I do. I think it's great, but sometimes, you know, you just you're at the bar and you get the stereotypical cougar, like the one that's like the bad stereotype of like the kind of full martini glass of the cigarette, like, you're a pretty little thing, aren't you?
Oh, I don't do that.
No, I'm not.
I like the martini bit.
Valerie,
No, but
is it true that the younger men approach the older woman? Is it?
Yes, they do, generally, yes.
do.
Although I'm being told more and more now, women are getting very confident, and they are approaching younger men.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I would see them approaching.
And,
Could you co-sign this for me?
Yeah, right.
When I first heard the definition of a cougar, it was I immediately went, when someone was like, oh, I immediately knew, oh, I know what that is, because I've seen them, and they approach guys for
Yes,
sure.
they sure do, yes.
I got cougared when I was like 25 in a bar with some guys playing pool.
Tell us
and
about it.
How did that work out for you, Tim?
Well, you know, I gave the brothers
you
the
say
thumbs up the
yes?
next day.
Did you learn anything at 25?
Big time, yeah, totally, a lot about coolness, about how
How to open a bottle of wine? Things
more
like
about
How
how
to hold a conversation
somebody that
as well.
more about learning about that there's actually women out there who were into it just for the night as well.
Yes.
You know, just for the let's just go, and
That's
because the
a
next
very
day she
good
was like,
point.
see you later.
Well, so Valerie, is it sort of back to the Sex and the City kind of mentality.
It is really, but you know what's unusual about it is always in the past that the older women have been frowned on and put down by society and said, oh, this is disgusting, she's foolish, you know, and all that, act your age. But now the women say, just a minute, what's the difference between an older man and a younger woman dating and an older woman dating younger? And there isn't any difference at all. And except there may be a little procreative problem, you know, at some point.
Oh, that.
That part of it too is the fact that an older woman and a younger man gives the woman a chance for dominance sometimes too?
I think there is a certain amount of control, yes, hence the cougar, you know, in control of their lives type of thing. And yes, they like it that way. These women are not into marriage, kids, commitment, you know, don't even want you to really stay overnight if you have to, you know.
Which to the guy is like,
Just
really?
for breakfast, breakfast maybe.
All
early.
cougars, they're single. They're all single women.
Oh yes, this is not for married people, that's affairs.
That's something
Been
else.
there, done that, but you know, the whole cougar thing is single people. That's why people get upset about it. Single people dating single
Valerie,
people.
do these relationships have a legitimate chance to last extended lengths of time, do you think?
That's a little bit of a difficult one, but because I always say they're short term, you go in for it, and the cougar wants it short term.
Right.
She doesn't want to just spend the rest of her life with this guy. You know, one night's fine.
Was she not so concerned about his personality and stuff as his physical appearance, maybe?
Well, the cougars are pretty attractive. You know, they're pretty together, and they've probably got their own career, money, condo, car. You know, all the things that in the old days the young women married the older guys for.
When a cougar is looking for you know, ends up with a young man, she doesn't necessarily need to have a good conversation with him.
No, but that's nice. But you know, what he's looking for. Now, there's the interesting thing. People say to me, well, why would a woman be attractive to a younger man? Well, because of a lot of those things. Good conversation as well as great sex skills, wonderful skills.
Virility.
A whole world, an exotic world that he hasn't yet experienced. Young women, you know, they get a young man to bed and, well, we're going to pick out the China pattern. You know, how about meeting my mom and dad? You know, the cougar says, when you're going home.
I know a lot of guys who would find that appealing. Yeah.
Yes, and just
And then
like
the
a
guy
lot
spends
of
the rest
men.
of his life wondering why the women his age aren't acting like that cougar. What's up? The cougar was like, get out
Valerie,
of here.
well, let's turn this really personal, Valerie. How many of these little young men have you snapped up in the last couple of weeks alone?
A number.
What's the youngest? Let's get right there.
I remember did date a young man, and I said to him next day, I said, how old are you? And he said, 22.
Wow.
And you were?
Oh, I was considerably older.
Nice.
And I said, oh, lovely, dear.
How was he, Val?
Yes. You better call your mum.
How was he in the sack, Valerie?
He was great.
Really?
And he kept coming
But he
back
was a lot
and coming
better
back.
after, wasn't he?
But I married one.
kept
I
coming
married
back.
a younger
Coming
man.
back.
Really? What was the age difference from?
I married 14 years younger. That was my last 5th marriage, and it was the best, the best one out of them all. And in fact, they turn out to be the best. Any woman who marries younger always says that to me. Best relationship ever.
Is that part of it? Is part of it too?
Sorry,
like,
Ryan, we got to jump out of here. Valerie,
all right.
save that question, Ryan.
I will.
Valerie, will you stay with us for another segment or two?
Absolutely.
Because this is really
It's
good.
fun.
I'm enjoying this very much. We're joined by Valerie Gibson, sex columnist and author, and we're coming right back. More advice from Val in a minute. Welcome back to the show. We're joined by Valerie Gibson, sex columnist and author, and a little hottie too, I think, Val. I think you're a little hottie. I think you wear really expensive underwear, probably, don't you?
Oh, when I do, when I wear
Oh, that's
do
what
wear
I like
it,
to
yes.
hear. Ryan, you had a question as we were going to break, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about men, like, and they keep coming back for more. Is that a big thing too? The refractory time, like guys will come.
Refractory time.
Refractory time.
Whoa.
Guys can younger guys could keep coming and going and
Well,
going.
that's actually one of the pluses of dating younger men. I mean, they got a lot of stamina, and so the cougar better have good stamina too. What goes up stays up.
Right.
You know?
So you don't get this sort of baby.
Did they have the skills, though, Valerie, to do everything necessary?
You'd be surprised these days, actually.
They
young
take
men.
direction
Of course
well?
they
Take good
do.
direction. Well,
Yes, but they do. Young men are wonderful. They've had good experience usually. They're not like the old days where they, wanted to be taught everything. Enthusiasm is everything in sex, isn't it? Everything, and they're always enthusiastic. And,
Timmy, do you have any
great.
sex questions for our guest?
Well, I'm married, and man, I'm in so much trouble already on this show. I guess I just want to know, what do you do when your sex life is just so great and perfect that You couldn't add anything to it. I mean, I don't know.
Well phrased.
Yes,
well
I don't know.
phrased.
With whom?
With
They're
my wife.
usually
No.
men that say that are having affairs.
My wife and I have an amazing sex life. It's absolutely
Excellent.
fantastic and no worries. So I just have to sit back and watch them.
Oh, they're just young people
Yeah.
having sex, Val. You know.
Oh, well, I love to hear it.
Do you ever feel like you end up being like kind of a mother figure to the younger man?
Well,
and you're like,
that's often us, but it's very rare. These women are not mothers. And they don't dress like mothers, and they don't look like mothers, and they don't act like mothers, so no. There's very little of that. There may be in some relationships. Not all older women who date younger men are cougars. They often want to date and feel they want good sex and a good time. But there may be a little element from the man with some women, but generally with cougars, no.
What about props,
They're
Val?
there for the hot time.
Hey, Valerie, what about props? Toys?
Oh,
Is that the way to go,
yes.
maybe?
Oh,
To
yeah.
spice things up?
You don't really need to when you're dating younger. They're so enthusiastic. You don't really need extras.
They
but
are a
it's
toy.
fun. But of course, a good cougar has a drawer full of nice stuff, interesting, great underwear.
What about
as you
going
say.
out? Is it just outside the bedroom? What about taking this young steed outside? Is that
Yeah,
being
that-
seen in public with him? Is that part of the whole erotic feeling behind
It is now. That's a good question, you know, because society, as we said earlier, views it very differently. So when you get outside, oh, you get some people saying, God, what's going on, you know. But the cougar is very confident. That's the whole thing, sophisticated and confident. Says, look what I got. Just like guys have done with the chickie poos for years. Look what I got.
Taking back the stigma that older women, once they get divorced at a certain age, then good luck trying to find another man kind of thing.
Yes.
So if you manage to latch onto a guy who's 10, 15 years younger than you and you're just out in public going,
I
hey.
think most women applaud whilst being very jealous, of course, and some are very cruel. It's the women that are tougher on the older women, actually, I find. They
Right.
really
It's
put
true.
down
It's
women.
competition.
You know, I mean, they've got all these phrases for putting her down. But that's general in society. Older women are generally put down in society as saying, you're finished, you're over at a certain age. And they're not, my
gosh,
God.
women are looking so good. Like,
Yes, they're fit, they're attractive, they're working.
They have their own
you
jobs,
know.
they got their own car, their own
Yes,
place. Exactly.
they're having a wonderful time in life and they just want to enjoy it to the fullest. And this whole thing that sex dies at a certain age is rubbish, I can tell you for sure. Rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. It goes on, it just booms on. And
Sweet.
it's
Ryan,
all-
have you ever
it's all
had an older
attitude.
woman, man?
I actually haven't dated many people my age because
Yes.
my social group's always been at least 6 years older than me.
Good
So-
for you.
so that's pretty much my-
You've got to stretch it a bit more, make it 10 years older.
Make it 10 years? All right.
I think that's important.
Or
yeah.
30.
Good, yeah, good
Or
gap.
or 30.
Well, look at Kim Campbell. You know, there she is with this wonderful guy, Hershey Felder, 22 years younger. They adore each other.
Does it ever get too creepy? Does it ever go cougar, 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 creepy, creepy? Does it ever?
Does it with men ever get creepy, creepy, creepy?
Yeah. I think most guys will say, I don't understand the Sean Connery thing.
Well, listen.
Tart, you know?
Most
Yeah.
women know how to keep fit, you can look good, and look at all the stuff that's available now. You just get it fixed or whatever, but you know, it's
What about a
it's
Sean
mental
Connery,
effort.
Valerie? What about that? Sean Connery and these
Oh,
guys
he's
that are...
gorgeous. I like all men, by the way. You know, it's not just younger men. It's been my downfall, but however, you know.
what about different races? Like, do cougars go out specifically targeting, say, maybe a Spanish guy or a black guy or a
No,
You wish.
no.
Kedar's looking for an angle.
Really, you know, like you, young and handsome. That's all they want.
There you go.
And enthusiastic. Must be enthusiastic. Yes,
enthusiastic.
Do you ever
that's
end up-
right.
Can't be a lazy lover.
No, no.
Do you
Kedar
ever,
has a
Young
dream
and
that one
lazy.
day a woman will choose him.
Yes, I'm sure. All you got to do is go to a cougar night, I'm sure. That's
So where
cougar
are
nights,
these
yeah.
cougar nights?
They're at bars, places, clubs.
And they're
in
called
the city.
cougar
They're
nights.
called cougar nights.
And what do you
yes.
have to be to, like, what do they define as a cougar, though? Like, what do you have to be to get into these cougar clubs?
Well, you just have to be single, really.
No, a cougar, some cougars are really ugly. You got ugly cougars out
No, cougars are not ugly. The whole concept of it is this sleek, very good-looking
there. You gotta be good looking. You
What's
can't
the
walk around.
age
I'm a
of-
cougar. Nah,
what's the
you are.
age-
Good
Barracuda.
question there.
That's a
What's the
good
age of a
question.
cougar, you know?
Well, the age group for a cougar is around about late 30s to 50s. But, you know, older women date younger men at all ages. I've had younger than that say to me, oh, I'm a cougar. You know, I like younger men. But, you know, it all depends on their attitudes. But that's generally the age group. They're very much in
Nice.
control of their
We're
lives.
going to have to take
you know.
another break and sell some stuff. Thanks, Val. That's awesome.
very
We got just a
welcome.
couple of more minutes with Valerie Gibson, sex columnist. We're talking cougars, and I'm titillated. We're coming right back.
Yes, he's hot.
Welcome back to Real Men. We're joined by Valerie Gibson, who wrote this book, Cougar. It's a guide for older women dating younger men. Thanks for coming in, Valerie.
Lovely, thank
We've
you.
had fun. Share a crazy story. What's the weirdest letter you've ever received or advice you've been asked or something like that?
They're all weird.
Are they? They're all freaks?
No, it's the major thing is affairs, definitely, about having affairs. More and more people, more and more women are having affairs, and they get into a hell of a lot of trouble, and I'm the right person to ask, believe me. been there, done that, I'm afraid.
Now, you were saying, like, do you help people cover up for your affair? Like, cover up their affairs?
I tell them how to handle it, and also I say what I did when I got into that awful situation and how it all crashed around my ears, you know. But yes, I think that more people are thinking they get into a relationship and then they decide, well, if it doesn't work out, can I just leave? Or they find somebody else, she's better, he's better, and they just get into that. And often they throw away something very good that they've got. This is happening more and more, I think.
So do you not recommend against the affair? I'm getting
I'm not saying
I'm getting that you don't come out with, well, you just shouldn't be having an affair, mister.
No, I don't say that.
I'm getting you come out with, well, if you're gonna.
That's like to being Canute and saying, go the sea, go back, isn't it? You can't stop people having affairs. They always will. But what you can is give them advice where it's going to go and what's going to happen, and this can happen if you do this. And I'm very knowledgeable, believe me. You know, I gave away everything.
You sound like you downright encourage it.
Yes,
Never mind.
well,
just
no, I just
letting
know.
them off the hook easy.
I'm very reasonable about it because I understand human nature
So what if your
and
man
human
cheats on
sexual
you?
nature.
What if your man cheats on you? What do you do?
Oh, I've never had that. I've never stayed around long enough.
Right, I think, yeah.
So you did the cheating?
Yes, I'm afraid I did.
Trollop.
Yes. Oh, but I gave them all the money, gave them all the cars, the houses, and said, thank you very much.
Valerie,
but,
do you end up paying a lot? For,
yes,
You do a lot
I
of
always
the,
end up giving up everything, yes.
How
I
about in
find
the whining and the
price of-
dining, and, you know, just in the courting, you know, before?
Yeah. Oh, they pay.
Oh, good. Okay, just checking.
Yes.
But imagine how evil a guy would
If they
sound
can
sitting
afford
here.
it.
Right,
Imagine how evil a man sounds sitting here, an older guy going, yeah, I've had 5 divorces, and, you know, they got what they got, and I did all the cheating, and,
Yeah, I understand, but
they got the money, and
Valerie
Men
sounds...
do that all the time.
I
I'm
know.
just saying.
That's
You
right.
do that all
You
the
gotta
time.
think she's
Yeah.
nice. Oh, wow, but she didn't give all the
All right,
money.
thanks.
I'm
I want to
nice.
thank Valerie Gibson for coming out. Thanks, Val. That was an awesome insight, and yeah, I'm a big fan. So thanks for coming in to Real Men.
Yeah,
Yes, we're always seeing
No, I love when I find
We should
it.
have got into that.
I love when I find it.